Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs. We are back, or should I say, I am back. I am missing a co-host this time, but that's all right. We'll get through this one. We're reviewing Apollo 11 today, a recent documentary released just a couple weeks ago for the first time, directed by Todd Douglas Miller. Apollo 11 offers a lot of never-before-seen footage of the famous Apollo 11 moon landing. So let's dive on in. First of all, it stars Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and not to be forgotten, Michael Collins. Everybody always forgets Michael Collins, but, he piloted the ships, so he's definitely an important factor of that mission. But diving on in, the Game of Thrones count. There were 0 Game of Thrones actors in this one. It was a documentary from 1969. Come on. It was an interesting documentary. They didn't really have any talking heads. They had compiled a lot of footage from various sources, from NASA itself, from cameras aboard the ships, from some news coverage. It was really interesting, and the restoration of that footage was sometimes incredible. At the beginning, especially when they're making their way to the rocket, it looks as if you could have shot it yesterday and maybe thrown a slight filter on. It looked really nice. And it just makes you feel like you're there. Obviously, it was not alive for that time, but it was very interesting to kind of experience it as if I was alive in 1969. Moving on, the music was really, really nice. At times complimentary, and at times it really punches it up and delivers some emotion. When the rocket initially launches and is heading for the exit of the atmosphere, there's this real nice track that comes on, and it's so intense and exciting, and you can really just imagine what it was like to watch that rocket lift off down in Florida. And that's really one of the things that this documentary does really well, is the intensity. I mean, we all know how this movie ends. We're the first Americans to set foot on the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin do that, but you forget quite often while you're watching the documentary that they succeed. Sometimes you wonder if the rocket could blow up at any second. It's just real intense, and that's a well done job by the documentary, because, like I said, it's a foregone conclusion. You know that they make it there, and the fact that the documentary can make you forget that, even for a fleeting moment, is impressive. Just to wrap this up, I think that what this movie does is it really garners an appreciation of space for people who flock to see this movie. I would recommend seeing this movie even if you're not particularly into space, because maybe it will change your mind. At the time, a lot of people were questioning whether or not it was worth trying to land someone on the moon. Some astronauts had died previously just in a capsule fire, and it is costly, and people were upset. But it definitely... it shows why space is so important. It's the next frontier. It's the next step for our species, and it pains me when people don't understand that. I think space is just so important, and it's so fascinating, and I really hope that we can get someone on Mars soon. And that's what this movie does. It gives us hope. It gives us excitement for the future of space, and that's all I really have to say about it. It was an excellent film. If you have not seen this, go see it as soon as possible. I believe it's going to be in theaters for a little while, and then they're taking it out until the summer. So see it in IMAX if you can. It's definitely worth it. If not, you can wait until the summer. I believe they're putting it back in theaters for a wider theatrical release. But that's all it for today. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. Definitely one of the better documentaries I've seen. Probably the best film that I've seen this year, which isn't saying much, because admittedly I've only seen Alita and Wandering Earth. But it's a strong movie, and it's a good way to start 2019. So check it out. Apollo 11, directed by Todd Douglas Miller. And I've been Zach Cantrell, and I will see you next time on the next review that we do. Have a good one, folks.